Ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days, and it's been weeks, and he has... What do you think, Sarah, this canyon right here?
It's absolutely incredible. I haven't been to Tijuana in a lot of years, and seeing how wide open it is. I mean, I don't know if you could turn the camera around and show everyone just how wide open it is. It's incredible.
A couple of questions. So. Rashida, what is your opinion on the massive child trafficking that is happening? Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say basically fight for your country. Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! La Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.
How's everybody doing? God bless everybody that is watching. God bless our country of Mexico, our city of Tijuana. And God bless the United States of America. Let's thank God for giving us 2 legs, 2 arms, a mind that we can think, a heart that we can feel, and eyes that we can see. How's everybody doing? Good evening to everybody. We're live from Tijuana, Mexico, broadcasting you today on this, 18? I believe that it's 18 of August of 2021 from Tijuana, Mexico. Share this video out, please. Let's fight censorship, as I am being completely censored. Out of 70,000 followers, look at what we have right now. It is just ridiculous what they're doing to us. But we are continuing to push forward, and we are going to continue to push forward no matter what. So thank you so much. The only way that we can fight censorship, first and foremost, is we have to hit that like button on Facebook and also hit that like button on YouTube. That's the only way that we can break these algorithms. And from there on, we can go on, and bring more people to the table. Today is it's a really important day. And, you know, first and foremost, I like to say that, you know, I am not for a political party. You guys already know I am in Tijuana. I'm a Mexican citizen. I cannot be involved in American politics, but it's really important that we come together in these critical times, as, you know, me as a reporter and a journalist, and as a broadcaster, that we have been broadcasting about this enormous influx in irregular migration, enormous child trafficking, abuse to human beings, abuse to migrants, but ultimately the lawlessness that is occurring in our border. It is just out of hand. It is just incredible. Not to mention the incompetence right now of the left, in not only in the United States of America, but also in our country of Mexico, has overruled the decisions and the opinions of, like the United States people say, we the people. So this is important for everybody to know. An interview today with the candidate for governor of the state of California, our neighbor, Mr. Diego Martinez, right here on the platform. Thank you so much, Diego, for coming on our platform.
Oscar, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And I heard what you said, and I want you to know something real quick. What we're going to talk about today is not about politics. It's about the people who are suffering at our borders on both sides. The way I feel, the American people have as much responsibility of what's going on in Tijuana and with the border crossing as the Mexican people. And that's why I'm on your show. And I thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for that. You reach out to me, a couple of times, and our moderators and the Oscar Blue team told me about it. And as a lot of people know, I cannot be involved in the politics, but right now this is extremely important that we come together as to fix this problem that is at our borders, particularly and promptly as soon as possible. My first comment to you: can you introduce yourself to the audience? Let them know who you are. What is your heart intention for the state of California, where you came from, and what are you doing right now as running for governor? Your full 100% intentions.
Well, my name is Diego Martinez. I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States when I was 6 years old. I come from Uruguay. My mom, my brothers and sisters, we all came here together. We understand the challenges of the immigration in the United States. We also understand the challenges of getting here. I'm a business owner. I ran multi-million-dollar business. My main focus is to make California a better state and stop the human trafficking that's going on our southern border. Everybody talks about Texas, but nobody wants to talk about California because everybody wants to blame somebody else for the problem. The problem at the border is not just a California problem, but it's a Mexican problem too, because you have people from Guatemala, El Salvador, and other countries coming and migrating. The United States closes the border on them, and what happens? They stay in Tijuana. Yet their journey there is so horrendous that people don't understand. Kids are getting raped. Women are getting raped. They're not eating. They're getting human trafficking starts there. You want to put a stop to it, we have to go right to the root of the problem. So that's why I'm on your show, and that's what I'm going to stop. People get upset with me when I say I'm going to close the border. I have to close the border to slow down some of the stuff going on. Not that I'm not going to reopen it, but we have got to close it down because on our side of the border, we have plenty of undocumented people that I'm going to allow a work permit for them to actually be able to be here for the next 4 years so we can do a background check and actually understand who they are. And then they can earn the right. But during that time, you can open up the borders and do it the right way. We're going to help the people on that side when the time is right to be able to do it the right way. But right now, our biggest focus is what's going on both sides. You have people crossing the border illegally that are running from something, yet nobody's there protecting them. But what caused that whole problem? And it's something we'll talk about today.
Okay, that's a great point. And the topic about closing the border, I want to get it with you a little bit. After these kind of questions that I want to ask you. I visited Guatemala 4 times already. I traveled over there. I've been seeing a lot of child trafficking, seeing a lot of problems that are occurring in the border of Guatemala, and it is because of this globalist compact of immigration that it was signed by countries like Canada, Mexico. The United States did not sign it. But ultimately, you see right now that the president of the United States, Joe Biden, has incentivized this to happen for people to migrate over here irregularly to non-port of entries. What has been happening in Tijuana, you already been there, I think so, once.
Yep.
Into the migrant camp. That is a complete disaster. Right now, authorities from Tijuana have already said that there's distribution of narcotics, there's abuse towards children, there's abuse towards women, there's MS-13s inside that migrant camp. All of this is coming to the United States of America. How is Diego Martinez going to send a message to the government of Baja California, that is 3 states that connect, 3 municipal cities that connect to the border of California, Mexicali, Tecate, and Tijuana? What is Diego Martinez going to send a message to say, this is not going to be allowed into our state?
Well, the first thing is I'm going to ask for a meeting with all 3 of them so we can all 3 sit down and talk. The good thing about me is I speak fluent Spanish. I don't need a monkey next to me explaining what's going on, and we can speak in our proper language. We have a problem, and we can all address it one way, or I'll address it here. The problem is if I address it in California, the Mexican people will suffer. And what I mean by that is we can shut down the borders here. I can put the National Guards, and I can stop people from coming into the United States. But what does that do to Tijuana, Mexicali, Baja. That will create a problem there, which you already have. We need to stop the problem before it gets there. And that's what people don't understand. What's going on? Why are people leaving Guatemala? What can we do to keep them there? Well, our number one problem is in Washington, D.C. When Joe Biden told people that they are allowed 100 days to get to the United States and they're going to be allowed to come in here. And guess what? That didn't happen. They closed the doors. Women and children were allowed in, and not even women. It got to a point where it's just children that were allowed into the United States. So people were stealing kids to make it a family to come into the United States. Then what happens to those kids? A lot of those kids get turned out for human trafficking. We need to stop that program, and it stops at the border because that's the root. That's where it begins, and that's where we take a stand. And now we can, as a unit, all 4 governors can work together and put stricter laws and regulation. We can also talk to Guatemala and let them know you can no longer come here. The border's closed, so you got to find another way around.
Now, there's things that they have in immigration. It's just so ridiculous how the United States of America is one of the most powerful countries in the world. Is not the most capitalist, sadly, now because of the destruction of Barack Obama, then the resurrection of the past administration, and now what is happening right now. The United States is on number 6 of the most capitalist countries in the world, sadly, right now. But we have a problem with immigration laws. It's so sad that the United States of America has the most soft immigration laws that exist possibly in the world. There's a lot of loopholes. They're providing this aiding and abetting for child trafficking and recycling of children. There's an immigration, loophole that provides an adult to carry a child between the ages of 9 and 12. And that is what has pushed all these mass migration. Do you think it is time for an immigration reform to start and to push that into Congress, or to push that into a little bit more further? Because I believe that it's time for this. This is a complete, destruction of border sovereignty right now.
Well, the first thing I got to do is work with Texas and Arizona. We all, our 3 states, have to sit down and talk and negotiate on what we're going to do with the federal government. One thing is us making a reform for our state. The other thing is trying to push something for the federal government. But if all 3 states are in conjunction to the same rules on our state, we can actually change our state legislation towards what immigration does in our state only, not federally. So if all 3 of us have the same rules and regulations, we can stop the fluctuation of kids coming in here and adults coming in here for a while and work something out with the federal government. I will be an advocate to reform immigration for the better of human people, not one side, one party over another, but the humanity in this. The United States, unfortunately, cannot take everybody from every country all the time. We're not big enough, but we can take quality people, and so can Mexico, so can other countries, right? We all try to do it better. But if we don't all work together, this problem's just going to keep getting worse. Human trafficking is something that needs to get taken care of now, and it needs to start at the borders, both countries.
Now, this talking about the border patrol right now. I just recently came back from Tapachula to Guatemala. I encountered myself in the airplane with a Mexican border agent of the Organization of Protection of Infants. As I was talking to her, it was, we have our colleague Ben Berquan for Real America's Voice News. He had an interview with one of the border patrol agents, and it is exactly the same mentality. As I was talking to the Mexican border patrol agent, she was telling me we are depressed. The moral is so down that we don't know what to do. We are overwhelmed with everything that is happening. It is exactly the same situation at the Border Patrol of the United States of America. What is Diego Martinez going to do to provide that security again and to provide that incentivization to the Border Patrol agents to have that respect and honor again that they need to have for this lawlessness that is occurring at the border?
Well, we got to bring law and order back, and we have to give the border patrols and the border agencies the power and authority that they deserve. See, a lot of that got taken away with. Okay, when everybody started talking, oh, you can't deport, you can't do this, you can't do that. Actually, the reason I reached out to you was I saw the video where you're sitting between Guatemala and Mexico, and you're actually showing people that there is deportation going on. See,
yes.
This misconcept that this isn't happening, that they're not going to. Well, you're wrong. They are. And if we don't get stricter laws at our borders, people aren't going to be safe coming here. See, we loosen the laws so badly that people are just dying to get to the United States that they're doing crime on the way here, and they're getting vandalized on the way here. How many people have been raped? How many children have been raped? And nobody wants to talk about that. See, nobody ever wants to talk about how hard it is to go from Guatemala to the United States. In a lot of countries, the problem is that they come from somewhere else and the government puts them on a bus and ships them to the other side of their country to get them to the next country's problem. Well, we have got to start stopping this. And how do you stop it? You close the border of entry, you make some real laws, and you reinforce your laws. We have plenty of laws on the book in immigration. We just got to reinforce them. We got to let our Border Patrol be able to do their job and do it right. We confiscate $15 million a week in border crossing of drug money coming back and forth. The number of human traffickers that are allowed in is insane. Nothing happens to them. I'm going to take that $15 million that is being caught and confiscated, and we're going to use it for border security and safety. There are points along that border right now that there's no wall, and a wall isn't to detain people or think people aren't going to come in, but it defers them to try to come in through the front door and do it the right way. But you also don't get the drug coming in through those empty holes that are out there. You make it difficult. You don't just open your door at your house and let the robbers come in. You close them, you lock them. You lock your windows, you make it harder. But the United States got soft when it came to just allowing anybody to come in here and not taking care of the people of the United States first and the people that are here. We have a backlog on immigration right now. There's people that have been here in the United States for 10 years that still don't have their paperwork that should have had it 10 years ago. We have to fix that first before we allow more people. So to create safety at the border, we let everybody know you can no longer come into California. The border shut down. We put our protection. We finished building the wall with the money that we're confiscating at the border. I want to detour the cartels from coming on this side. They can go to Texas. They can go to Arizona. That's not where I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the California border and the people here. And we are going to protect it. I will work with Arizona and I will work with Texas. But I have got to prove that it works in California. I will work with the Baja, the Tijuana, and the Mexicali governors to fix the problem at the root. We can no longer be everybody's aid, and we can no longer allow people from other countries to get raped on the way here, and then you close the door, then they're getting raped on the way home, or they're getting used for human trafficking. Kids are getting stolen so people could come in this country. We need to reform this and make it humane, and that's the problem. We're not.
I agree with you, and in some points. Now, getting to the close the border subject, I don't. There's so many, there's so many assumptions that we can use as closing the border, because the border is actually, if you see it, mechanically, it's kind of statistically closed because it's to essential and non-essential, into pedestrians, and also ultimately into people that they are tourists. So it's only closed to non-U.S. citizens and to residents. We're talking about close the border and the open gaps. I believe so, right?
Right. Okay,
Because
so
if we close it, Diego, if we close it in the commercial line, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. That is, the most international trade. That is the most important thing between Mexico and the United States. We agree on that. I believe so, right?
Oh, no. We agree with that. Let me clarify what I mean by closing the borders, because people ask you the same question all the time. Well, you're closing the borders. There's a lot of people that live in Tijuana just like you do. They work in the United States and go back home every day. We're not closing that. We're closing the bridge and the gap of the openness where people can come through. We're going to go a little tighter on security coming in. So if you're working in California, but you live in Tijuana, you're going to be able to go back and forth, vice versa. I know people that live in San Diego, Chula Vista, that go to Tijuana to work. They're doctors. That's what they do. They rather work there. I don't have a problem with that. See, the problem that I have is when we're not securing the outside of the borders. We're not making sure that everything around us is secure. You want one funnel, one entrance into the United States, not every other gap.
Now,
better?
Yeah, that's clarified. Thank you so much. Now, there's a problem that I have encountered in the past 3.5 years, and this is really, I can consider it as treason to the country. But these are liberal activists that they have been coming into Tijuana. They have attacked journalists, reporters like myself, and they have made particular statements on mainstream media attacking a Mexican over here, putting our lives in danger, accusing us of informants. Imagine that, to the United States of America. They don't know the aggravated term that is used and how it could cause consequences not only for my life, but for my family and for friends. Ultimately, these activists, they are from the United States of America, which they are not essential, Diego, to cross back and forth. I don't know what is their number one purpose to be over here, but a lot of them, they're working with non-visas, not work visas. They're just crossing back and forth as, not essential. What can we do to these activists that they are mercenary activists? A lot of them, they have been in a watch list of the United States of America, and still they're coming back and forth into the United States, into Mexico, and from Mexico to the United States. How can we resolve this from not creating a bigger problem that has already been created, as these activists, they run these migrant camps and they run a lot of these nonprofit organizations?
Well, working with the governors of your country, we can actually solve that problem very quickly. First of all, your governor of that country could deny them access into the country. They cannot leave the United States. They cannot go back into that country. That's very simple. That's one of the quickest ways to fix the problem. They're on a watch list. They cannot cross. Us at the border, we'll keep them out from going there and let them know. Now, if they make it there, they can go to jail there because they're breaking Mexican law. We have to bring law and order, and we have to be tough on law and order all the way around. Okay, you can't have somebody from the United States go to Tijuana, go to Mexicali, and create hectic over there, and then I'll just run back across the border and be safe. That program will come to an end once you sit down with the governors and we all agree on what can and cannot happen, because that's their state. The reality is, the governor of Tijuana, that's his state. He has the right to tell somebody they are not allowed in their state, and he has the right to deny access to his state.
Now, there's an enormous influx happening right now through Texas. It's horrible what is happening to Texas right now. It's just La Joya, Texas, Del Rio, Texas. It's just horrible what has been happening in Juarez, and I visited Juarez also. It's just horrific. The assassinations and the killings of women in that part of Ciudad Juarez that connects to El Paso, Texas. You have a lot of Congress people who are advocating to stop the construction of the wall and ultimately to create this friendly atmosphere to this to continue. What is your opinion to these Congress people that they are in the United States of America, Diego, and that ultimately they are aiding and abetting this kind of attitude to continue?
Unfortunately, the lawmakers of the state of California or the United States are out of touch with what reality is and what's really going on. They don't live like the rest of us. They don't live in border towns, so they don't understand the hardship of what's going on. People believe that open borders because it's your freedom to go back and forth. But I tell you what, I bet you if I go to Mexico and I'm overstay my welcome, I'll get deported from Mexico. We cannot encourage open borders for the simple fact that you don't know who you're bringing into your country. You don't know who you're bringing into your house. We have got to secure our borders all the way across on every side. If you look at the Texas governor, he said, we're not going to ask federal money. We're going to do it ourselves. And they actually did start building it. We understand because we're on the grounds and we see what's going on. We're not out of touch. I don't need to go to Texas to see what's going on the other side of the border. I could drive my 8 hours down to Tijuana border, Mexicali, and I could cross the border and I can see what is going on. I was at the migrant camps. I saw people starving. I saw the bathrooms weren't kept up. I saw people sleeping outside. They left their house. They left everything behind for a better future because our stupid president promised them something and then he closes the door. Now he created a problem for Mexico and the United States because it's a joint problem. So how do we fix it and how do we stop it? We're advocates for building the wall, and as an immigrant, should have a little bit more carry than somebody who's never even been down to the border. I understand what happens on that side. I understand what's happening on this side. I will secure the California portion of the border to make it safer. I will work with the government of Tijuana, Mexicali, and Baja to figure out how to make it humanly better and keep people from just coming here with no endpoint. We can all work for a better world in America.
Exactly. Now, the cost of living in California, Diego, it is just it's just horrific. It's just skyrocketed, and this is why it has affected the cost of living in California has affected us Mexican citizens on the other side. Why? Because the population of U.S. citizens and residents in our city, in our border cities in Mexico, has increased into an 85%. This to all the to all the renters and to all the owners of properties, it have lifted, and they have raised the rent monthly, and ultimately it has been changed from pesos to dollars. How can Diego Martinez right now control this? Because the cost of living in California, it is just out of reach for the normal, typical, average citizen. This is why I was asking you this question before we went live. There's a lot of homeless people in California.
There's a lot of homeless people in California, and a lot of it makes different reasons why there's homeless people in California. The cost of living in California has gone through the roof because we're overtaxing our citizens. The reason we're overtaxing our citizens is because it's only a portion of the citizens. And there are people who are here working illegally that are getting free services that aren't paying taxes. We talked about an immigration reform, and I said I'm going to give people who are here already, not coming here, I have to not let anybody else come in, fix California. We're actually going to deregulate California so we can bring industry back into the state of California so we can get jobs. We're going to get everybody who's here a job. They're going to be responsible. What happens then is you create revenue. When you create revenue, you can lower the cost of living by lowering people's taxes and putting more money in their pocket and not having them sustain the government by so strong. We're also going to reduce the free programs to people who haven't paid anything into the system that are here illegally. We're going to discourage illegal immigration into California. Well, my plan is once we get California fixed, where you have jobs and everybody's working, everybody's paying their fair share, is at the border so people can't come here legally, okay? Whether you get a visa or not from your country, but at the border, they will have job and work permits where we can say, hey, we need 100 people today. So they can get 100 people that have jobs already available to them. So we're going to work with both agencies, from the Border Patrol to the immigration to also Mexico and the other countries are bringing people here. So if somebody wants a visa, they want to come over here, they're going to have to get sponsored by a family. So it keeps our costs down. Not only that, but if they're coming and they're coming to work, they're going to be able to get a work permit when they come into the border to be able to go to work. We'll know how much time they want to be here. We'll have a background. It'll be safer. Not only that, that family that's desperate to get here will not suffer on the way here like they're doing now. So instead of having to pay a coyote to try to trick you to get in here, you'll actually be able to come in the front door. You will actually know that you're here. So you can arrange a better way to get here without getting raped, without getting your kids taken away, without all the horrible stuff that we have heard of people coming into this country. That's the idea. We're probably a few years away from any of that happening, but that's the end goal to get there. Take care of California, grow California, where we need more people to be able to come in here and have jobs available for the people to come in.
Now, really quick question, and for you to answer, what are you going to do with the homeless veterans?
Oh my God. The United States is probably the worst that takes care of them. We're going to take care of them. We have military bases that we're going to put old buildings and old military bases that we're going to open up for all our veterans who come home. All our veterans who go to war will have a place to come home to. On a military base, you got food, you got doctors, you got everything you need. That is the least we can do for our veterans. That is the very least. We're going to help them with their medical stuff. We're going to cut some of the red tape of the VA.
Your volume.
Are we there?
Yes,
Okay.
you're there again.
Sorry about that. So we're going to have a place for our veterans. I'm going to take very good care of our veterans because our veterans are the freedom of what we live under. The worst part is, and you're from Mexico, is that we see a lot of Hispanic veterans that come back, that come here to fight. They came here on a green card. They went out to war and they came back and they're still illegal. They still have a green card.
I wanted to jump into that. There's a huge community over here in Tijuana of deported veterans. I believe I'm 100%. I'm 100%, and a lot of people have, not agree with me because I am a guy for second chances, as I made a mistake back in my time when I was young, and I believe that all these deported veterans, they deserve the opportunity to be in the land that they represented and the uniform that they put on to give their lives for the country. Other than that, their mistakes that happen is another situation, which is completely different of what they did in their time when they represented the United States of America. There's a lot of deported veterans. There's a huge community right here in the downtown area close to the border of deported veterans. What is your opinion on how we can get, or how can you help these people to get a second chance to enter in the United States?
I'm going to tell you a personal story. My brother went in the Marine Corps. He came out, he thought he was a U.S. citizen, till he realized he wasn't. He could have been one of these deported people. It is inhumane that you ask a man or a woman, I don't care where you come from, to put on a uniform, go overseas and fight for this land, and you can't call it home? What is wrong with the United States? Why would anybody in any sense of mind think that you want to go fight for a country so you get deported when you get back? I will work with that agency and I will figure out how to make it right for our veterans to come home where they belong, because they fought for our freedom. Because nobody should fight for a country and get deported the next day. I think that was the most sickest thing I ever heard when I heard that happen. And I said, I am going to make a difference. I will work and I will do what I can to bring those veterans home to where they belong.
There's a huge community, and after the live feed, I will send you the contact of these deported veterans. So if you can, whenever you come over here to Tijuana, I would love to take you there to their office, and you can talk to them to see how they feel. It is sad to see them as they, their illusion and their dream is to go back to the country that they represented and that they were willing to die for, and now they are over here deported. It is just horrific. Now, jumping into another topic, there is a question that I told you about before we came in here. Real quick questions. Critical race theory.
Will not get taught in the state of California once I become governor. What it is basically telling us, soy Latino. Basically, my mom raised us on a single home. We weren't very rich. We grew up in a bad part of California. Basically, what critical race theory is saying is that it's okay that I become a criminal. It's okay that I go steal. It's okay that I'm in jail because of where I grew up. That's just an excuse to tell our youth not to do the best that they can. I want everybody to know this, whether you're here or anywhere else. There's only one person stopping you from being successful, and I don't care where you come from, and that's yourself. Because if critical race theory was true, I'd be in prison. So will have the NFL players that grew up in bad neighborhoods, but now they're millionaires. Look at me. I came to the United States in 1980, and in 2021, I am running for governor of California. And we came to this country with nothing. So if we can do it, so can you. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you're less than somebody else.
You have competition running as a governor in California. Most recently, Caitlyn Jenner visited the border over here to check out on the Border Patrol agents. Are you willing to visit also the border to talk to the Border Patrol agents and to really negotiate, see how it is firsthand? Because you have come over here in Tijuana that is most accurate and that is most, risking your life coming over here to diseases, to infections, and ultimately to, the risk of somebody aggravating you or attacking you in some way. This is really important, Diego, because the Border Patrol right now, their moral is really down. Are you willing to, or are you going to visit the Border Patrol in the borderline? As right now, they reported, the San Diego Union Tribune has reported that they have been shot at. The Border Patrol is 2 shootings have occurred in the part of Otay Mesa. Yesterday, it was one earlier in the morning as border agents were shot at the border at Otay Mesa. This is getting out of hand. Do you think that you can go and talk to the border agents at the borderline and see what can you do?
Well, me and you talked about that. I'm going to be down there this week. I'm going to make time this week, probably on either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going to be down there. And if you don't mind showing me around, I'd love to meet you at the border, and we can go and we'll talk to all the Border Patrol, because they need to know that somebody's out here actually trying to fight to fix their jobs and make sure that they're safe also, and give them the respect that they deserve. And I'd love to go meet the veterans that fought for our country here in America that are over there. So we'll set something up, but I'll be there this week, and I am willing to see. And I want people to know that I am here to fight for them. I am taking this job because it's for the California people. It's for the United States residents, but it's not only that. It's a lot for the immigrants who are trying to come over here. The doors are getting shut on them because they don't understand what's going on. They got some false promise by some Looney Tune that wants to be an advocate and bring everybody here, and then they can't get in. Yet they keep going back to your country, telling these people, you're going to get in, you're going to get in. And then they get stuck in sexual trafficking. They get stuck doing stuff that they should never have to do. They get stuck living in a way that is worse than where they came from. You risk everything to get the door shut on you. That's not right. We have to fix all these problems, and I'm more than happy to go talk to the Border Patrol. I'm more than happy to go talk to the veterans, and I'm more than happy to go see what's going on so we get a real live view on what's going on at our borders, because it's our borders. It's yours and it's ours.
Now, question, and is a really, I believe that is a critical question that we live in the borders. Right now, it is close to essential and non-essential crossings. It is affecting completely now because every month it is extending and it's extending. And you see a lot of people that they're regulated, they're legal, and they have their tourist visa as Mexican citizens, so they can cross into the United States of America and ultimately provide the economy. Because as you know, and I know, the economy of the border fluence between two countries, between the United States citizens coming as tourism into our country and us going and providing over their economy, buy-in out of, you know, the supermarkets and going to the parks and all of this stuff. The regulations have been extended into use vaccination cards to cross to the United States of America. What are your thoughts on that? Well, number one. And number two, do you think that it's fair that you got this enormous influx coming in through the mountains with people that they're not regulated, not tested, unvaccinated, sick, when you have thousands and thousands of Mexicans that they're waiting to open up the border to go in legally and provide for America?
So we could talk about the vaccinations. I think vaccinations is your choice. I don't think there should be a card for you to actually have to cross back and forth and prove that you've been vaccinated or not. I believe that we're all adults and that we all know that if we don't feel good, we shouldn't go out. We should go see a doctor. Now, that being said, if you come by the border and you're coughing, you're sick, we might have a doctor take a look at you before we allow you entry. But I think everybody should be able to, if you're legally able to come in and out of the United States, you should be able to do that legal travel, because there are goods that are being sold between Mexico and the United States every day. That is part of our economy. But it is bad that you're holding people at the border and say, hey, you can't come in unless you have a vaccination or passport. But you look 300 yards down the road and there's no fence there, and everybody and their grandmother's coming through. Like, who cares? We got to stop that and open this up and make sure that we keep the relationship working. Again, it's relationships between both countries, making sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to this. And that's one thing that governors can do.
I want to ask you, Liz, quick opinions on these names, and you can tell me, you know, with a quick response, what do you think? When I bring this name, Gavin Newsom, what is your thought?
Somebody who is unqualified for the job that he's doing. I think he doesn't understand what he's causing and what damage he did to our economy and the Mexican economy at the same time.
Is California a sanctuary state?
It is, and it shouldn't be. There's no such thing as a sanctuary state. You should be here legally, and you should be working and paying your taxes just like everybody else.
When I name Black Lives Matter, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a BS organization that needs to be taken apart. If you want to do peaceful protests, you can, but this isn't about being able to run wild and do whatever you want. For every action, there's a reaction, and if you break the law, you're going to go to jail.
If I give you right now the name Joe Biden, what would you say?
Idiot. I mean, Sleepy Joe.
Now, the most important one, as Diego Martinez going for governor of California, Latino, somos Latinos. You know, this is, you know, beautiful, a Latino that is getting the opportunity now after your story that you just told us. and now running for governor. That is beautiful. That is, a second opportunity from God that is given to a Latino. What is the message of Diego Martinez to the California people? And ultimately, as a governor, what is the message to the American people that you want to give?
I want everybody to know that America is the greatest country in the world. America has given me an opportunity that my country will not ever give me. But not only me, it gives each and every single one of us here. I want every American to take a look at Diego Martinez, an immigrant, came to the United States, probably wasn't the best student at one point. This is what freedom's about. This is what liberty's about. And this is what the American dream is about. As governor of California, I will help the California people be able to vision and live and accomplish their American dream. Because everybody's dream is different. When I came to this country, our dream was to eat every day. As we grew up, it was to own a home, have a successful business, or a successful life. Success is in your hands. Your ability to do anything is in your hands. We need to love each other and be respectful to our neighbors. God put us on this earth for a reason. God brings somebody in your life for a reason. It's not to destroy, but it's to unite for a better future and to bring something into this world.
Well, thank you so much, Diego. I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for reaching out. I believe that it's time for us to unite. First and foremost, as you a candidate of a governor of the United States of America. I'm over here, a reporter and a journalist over here in my city of Tijuana. Really, it's not about political parties. It's really about helping the United States of America and also helping the other side of the border that is Mexico. And I clearly see 100% those heartful intentions in you, that you want to fix this problem, that you clearly want to put the security of the California people first, and ultimately represent the United States of America as you want to. So I want to thank you for that.
Oscar, thank you. It's a pleasure being on your show. Like I said, I've watched your show when you did that, showing that people are actually getting deported. I wanted Californians to see the reality of what's going on, because we live in a fantasy land. If you're not by the border towns, you don't see what's really going on. And it was a big impact when I saw you out there by the Guatemala border, watching people getting deported. I think people need to see that more, and I appreciate what you do. And I look forward to meeting you this week. We'll see you in person. I will be down there.
Thank you so much, Diego. Saludos y un abrazo.
Gracias a ti y a toda tu gente que lo está escuchando. Y por una vez vamos a tener una voz en el estado de California, en Sacramento, que los representa a nosotros, la gente latina. Gracias.
That's all. God bless you, Diego. There you have it. Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. And he contacted us, and it is important. This is really important, what I'm about to say. I don't have no opinion whatsoever on who's running and who's not. Clearly, you guys know that I live over here in Mexico, and I have been broadcasting for almost 4 years through Mexico, through my city of Tijuana, our city of Tijuana, los tijuanenses, and ultimately the state of California. This is really important because there was a question that I forgot to ask him, and I will get him possibly this week. The borderline crossing, it's just excessively long. So I wanted to know how he's going to fix that, because it's just so excessively wrong. And there's a district leader over here in Tijuana that wanted to fix that. They already have this, idea of creating another border entrance, and ultimately also the accessibility of the roads and creating bridges and all this kind of stuff. They were going to do that, but there's no communication with Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, it is MIA, missing in action on all of this. The governor of Baja California, he has been completely insisting to Gavin Newsom to talk to him about this. The past municipal president of Tijuana wanted to talk to him about this, because Tijuana is one of the most critical and one of the most fluent, borders that exist in the world. And it is important that we have that fluency in traffic, people, and in traffic contamination and all of this kind of stuff. It is occurring in our city on the waiting line to go to the United States of America. And this is right now with essential and non-essential. I'm just going to tell you, the record-breaking hours for an automobile to cross to the United States of America was apparently in 2019, and it was 11 hours. 11 hours to cross to the United States of America. It's just horrific. This is the things that, you know, they need to be fixed as you live over here in this part of this state. I believe that it's a time for unity. As a Mexican citizen and as a Tijuana citizen, it's a time for unity with the California people. And ultimately is a time for interaction and also you know, what they want to say about what is going on over there and what they expect from the other side of the border. It is just important as you don't even imagine. Today, I want to thank Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. There's other candidates that they have contacted me also into, you know, our into our inbox. I will be messaging them back if they see, if they want to, you know, talk, they want to speak about what is going on at the borders and how they are, you know, intending to fix this. You know, Diego Martinez is a Latino. Caitlyn Jenner, just as I mentioned, visited the border 2 days ago and met with border agents at the border. And her statements were, you know, I was tired. I got tired of sitting down in the couch and watching everything that's evolved. Diego Martinez has come down all the way to Tijuana, checked the migrant camp, ultimately was there standing, saw how everything was evolving, and he's planning, you know, to come on this weekend. So, you know, thank you so much. Buy Me a Coffee is on top of the link if you guys like to contribute to our independent reporting and broadcasting and information for every single one of you guys. If you guys want to contribute to our independent reporting, Buy Me a Coffee is on top of the link. My God, censorship. I'm gonna talk to Oscar Blue Team. What happened today, man? It's just it's just horrible. And there was a person right here that it was criticizing, and it had an emoji like, oh my God. It's saying, Oscar, we want to hear all the candidates and also the 4 Democrats. Excuse me, boss. Let me get all the candidates right now. Let me just get them a phone call and just, you know, as a Mexican, get on a phone call and start dialing. Hey, all of you, I want you to give me an interview right now. Some comments are really out of this world, man. Some comments are really out of this world. God bless you all. You can follow me at Facebook. You can follow me at YouTube. And also you can follow me on our new YouTube channel as Oscar Blue Independent Media. Also, follow us at Telegram. Join our Telegram. I'm dropping voice notes right there every day. I'm dropping voice notes every day. So it's important for you guys to go to Telegram and hear the voice notes. And ultimately, you know, you can get like a glimpse of what is going to be talked about in our live show. So, you know, I want to tell you that follow Border Network News, follow Border Network News at Telegram, Instagram, and Facebook. And also follow the other half of Border Network News, that is Anthony Agüero. He's live in Texas. He's been broadcasting live in Texas for everybody that is watching. God bless you all. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, peace and love, because always your country's first. God bless.
Ya van días y varias semanas.
He hasn't given no response, and it's been days and it's been weeks, and he has... What do you think, Sarah, this canyon right here?
It's absolutely incredible. I haven't been to Tijuana in a lot of years, and seeing how wide open it is. I mean, I don't know if you could turn the camera around and show everyone just how wide open it is. It's incredible.
a couple of questions?
No.
Ms. Rashida, what is your opinion on the massive child trafficking that is happening?
Y espero logren su objetivo de la justicia a su país. Luchen por su país. Say the basically fight for your country.
Están bloqueando el acceso. ¡Viva! La Policía Federal o la autoridad nos está deteniendo el acceso y nos está deteniendo el paso para poder cruzar hacia el Zócalo, señores.